Okay, we're going to do this using long division again. Essentially what we're getting is we're going to take this term and divide it by this here. So when we go to set up the question, what's important to figure out first of all is this is to the power of 1, and then you could say this variable is to the power of 0. But in this one we go from 4 to 2 to 0. What two numbers are we missing?
3 and 1.
We're missing an x to the power of 3 and a x to the power of 1. Okay? So what that means is we're going to have to actually put those in. So I'm going to actually expand this polynomial. This polynomial in terms of our question is going to need to read x to the power of 4 plus 0, and we'll do it in red so you can see the change. 0x cubed minus 5x squared plus 0x plus 6. Okay? So we need to make sure we count down one at a time in order to divide. So now when we go to divide, we get x minus 2 divided by our term. Okay, and we'll write it all in here. x4, 0x cubed minus 5x squared plus 0x plus 6. Okay, but what we're going to do is we're going to go into depth about what we're actually dividing and how we're getting all of our terms. Let's move this down one. Okay, what we need to do, like we said, is we need this variable to be to the same power of the first term we divide by, and because there's 2, we're going to divide into the first 2 terms, and our coefficients need to be the same. Okay, so this is a coefficient of 1, and this is a coefficient of 1. So I need to multiply 1 by 1 to get 1. Simple as that for multiplication. On top of that, our variable is x to the power of 1. Well, in order to get x to the power of 4, I have to multiply by x cubed because we add exponents. And just to prove that, I'm going to do each of these steps. So the term I'm multiplying by is 1x cubed. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add another page, okay, on the side here. And we're going to do all of our calculations on the side just so you see what we're talking about. Okay? So the very first one we did was we multiplied 1x cubed. It's going to be a little laggy because we have 2 going here, times x minus 2. So distributive property says we take this and multiply it into both of these. When I do that, my new term is 1x to the power of 4 minus 2x cubed. Okay? Well, that's important because that is exactly how we get what's below here. That is our x to the power of 4 minus 2x cubed. That's what we put underneath. We always multiply, and we'll just kind of draw a relationship between the two. This, which was our outside term, times what we're dividing by every time, which is always going to be what's in this bracket. So we'll just call this the first calculation we did, number 1. Okay? We're going to end up doing quite a few of these calculations on the side. So that's how I got that term there. Does that make sense below? And where it is? It's in yellow here. Okay? So due to long division, the next thing we do is we subtract. So we go to subtract these 2 terms. Well, x to the power of 4 minus x to the power of 4 cancels out. And 0 minus negative 2x is actually 2, positive 2x cubed. Okay? Positive 2x cubed. We bring down the next term. Does this make sense?
Yeah.
5x squared. Now, these are the numbers we're dividing into. Oh, I don't have creative pen, unfortunately. So, in order to get, this is a coefficient of 2. In order to get my coefficient 2, I got to multiply by 2. So, in fact, it needs to be positive 2. And this is a power of 3, and mine's only a power of 1, so I have to multiply by a power of 2, x to the power of 2. So, our second calculation, okay, we're going to take, we're going to take this 2x squared, okay, 2x squared, and we're going to multiply by the exact same thing again, which is our x minus 2, because that's what we're dividing by. We always multiply it by that there. Okay? So distributive property says when I multiply this, I end up with 2x cubed minus 4x squared. Okay? And that is what's going to be our new term below. So every time we do this, what we're doing is discovering our new term below. So I'm going to write that in too. I know this seems like a lot of steps. We don't have to do it this way every time. Minus 4x squared. Okay? Is this making sense so far? We make that calculation every single time. So I'll speed it up a little. So now that we have that, we got these guys cancel out. Negative 5 minus negative 4 is like adding 4. So we get negative x squared. Bring down the next term, which is 0. So we have plus 0x. Well, in order to get x to negative x squared, I have to multiply by a negative 1. And I also have to multiply by an x. So our next calculation, we're going to take negative 1x. This will be our third calculation. Negative 1x. And again, we multiply by what we always multiply by, our divisor here, x minus 2. Okay? I'm just highlighting them so the notes will make sense after. When we use our distributive property, we're going to get negative x squared plus 2x. Well, that then becomes the term we subtract by, right below here. So we get negative x squared, which is what we always want. We always want our first terms to be the exact same so we can essentially eliminate them when we subtract. And then we're going to subtract the 2. Well, when we go to subtract, those are going to cancel out. And we're going to get negative 2x. And we bring down our final term here, positive 6. Okay? Well, I need to get x to be negative 2. So I got to multiply by the coefficient of negative 2. And my x right now is actually the same power, so I don't have to multiply by any variable. So that's going to essentially be my last term. We kind of know it's our last term when there's only a constant. Okay? So, again, calculation number 4, we take negative 2 and multiply it by what we always multiply by, x minus 2. So we know it's the same every time. And that's going to give us what we get below. So when we use distributive property, we get negative 2x plus 4. That becomes our new term below to subtract by, and then we'll find out what our remainder is. And of course, this question, oh, I highlighted the wrong thing there. There we go. That's where our term goes, what we just got, negative 2x plus 4. Well, when we finally go to subtract that, the negative 2x's cancel out. And 6 minus 4 is 2. So that's going to be our remainder. This will be part of the question. This will be part of the question. And of course, this will be part of the question. I'm just going to go back into one page here. What's important to realize, okay, we'll put our answer up, is the question asks to find factors that this is actually not a factor of it because we got a remainder. Okay, so our answer, oh, you're right, I'm going to have to zoom out to get the whole answer. Our answer here is x minus 2, and then our answer from above, which is x cubed plus 2x squared minus x minus 2, and then this is positive 2 remainder, so plus 2. And just to highlight this, show you where our answers are the same. This is our x2, and our green is our answer from above here. So that's where we drew our relationship. So dual page. Oops, go over that. There you go. That's all the work we did, and those are our side calculations in order to figure out. So you can do the side calculations in your head, but always realize that's what you're doing every time. You're distributing it to that other term to get what we subtract by.
But I could do it like on a test or whatever that.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.